Breeders' Cup Saturday continues, and this time we'll mow the lawn at a mile at Santa Anita on the turf. 16 horses have entered. Normally in a race like this, I like the closers. We'll see who can work out a trip from behind. And let's take a look at this field, including some 20-1 shots that I'm starting to take a look at in the exactas and trifectas. They may spice up the exotics a little bit, starting with Sedawa, the number 1 horse. It's an 8-year-old, 9 wins and 47 starts, but it does have 10 seconds and 12 thirds. So Sweda is a horse that's always in the money, kind of always in the hunt, and was kind of trapped a little bit in the Shadwell Turf Mile in the prep. That was its first race in North America this year after running 8 previous races in Europe, including Great Britain, and then running in Ireland, and then starting off the year in a couple of 7-furlong races. The mile is really his distance. And on the turf, he's 5 for 38 lifetime. I think he fits in this field. I think he can close late if the fractions are fast. And Javier Castellano in the saddle is definitely a plus. Lucullen ran a 104 Brisnet speed figure in his most recent race. That was the grade 2 Knickerbocker. Now he's got to face faster horses and more classier horses going a distance that may be just a short for him, but I do like him shortening up from those 1.16 and 1.125 races to the mile distance. I think Lucullen could have a good 6-year-old year if he comes back next year for Godolphin. He's 12-1 on the morning line. I'd pick him about 15-1 in this race with Luis Saez. He's got a chance, but I think he may have peaked in his most recent race. Space Traveler is 12-1. 123 pounds, and that's cutting some weight after his last couple of races when he carried 129 and 127 pounds over in Europe, facing some fields that I think he'll like. This 12-horse field where he'll be able to get a little bit of cover. He faced a 6-horse field 2 races back, and you can kind of tell he was a little bit uncomfortable. I think with the cover in this race, Space Traveler could be kind of hard-hitting at the end in this race. Another horse that I think you want to consider is the 5-horse, True Valor. True Valor is a long shot. He won last time at 17-1. He won the race before that at 12-1, and he's 20-1 morning line in this race. Can he complete the trifecta, winning at long odds? He's a closer, and he's on his home track. I think he's a horse you have to use in a race like this at long odds. Got Stormy is a female facing the boys, 7 for 16 wins, got knobbed out on the finish line in the Woodbine Mile in the last race by El Tormenta, who rode the rail and kind of took advantage of the rail that day. Got Stormy faces more quality speed in this race and could get shuffled a little bit further back than she likes to be. Bolo registered a 32-1 shocker in the Shoemaker Mile. That's how he got in this race, a win and you're in. He's now 7 years old, 5 for 11 at Santa Anita, but those last 2 races he lost by 7 lengths and 4 lengths. I'm just not sure he's in form, and his only win this year was kind of a shocker in kind of a strangely won race. El Tormenta, he was 45-1 getting his win and you're in the Woodbine Mile. He's going to be a long shot again. He'll run from mid-pack. He does close, and I like the fact that it is a mile. That's his best distance, 15-1 with Eurico de Silva. Circus Maximus, one of the favorites for Aidan O'Brien, won his last race and 4 for 10 lifetime. Aidan O'Brien's kind of suffered a little bit in this race. Sometimes he has horses kind of very bet down that don't run well. This horse seems to be fresh and coming off a couple of Group 1s, seems to be in form with blinkers on and Lasix. Circus Maximus definitely seems to be a live contender for Aidan O'Brien. Without Parole, Chad Brown trains, has not raced since May. Does have some grade 1 races last year that would very easily put him in the winner's circle here, but can he get back to that form with only 2 races this year? He does get Lasix, and Chad Brown has been training. Uni is a filly taking on the boys and a dominating First Lady score at a mile at Keeneland in her most recent race. Faces the boys now. Joe Rosario rides, and I would not throw out this horse. I think she'll be 4-1. That's a fair price. She looked like a winner at the top of the stretch at Keeneland, and if she gets that right closing trip on a fast course, she could mow the lawn here and run a 132 and change at Santa Anita. Meanwhile, Lord Glitters on the outside. This guy 7 for 25, and really likes to close. Has some grade 1 races that can put him in the hunt. Last year, he did win, ran in Dubai and then ran at Ascot, won at Ascot. This year, just 6 races, 1 for 6 lifetime. I think Lord Glitter's at 12 to 1 with Jamie Spencer. That's my only concern. Jamie Spencer always seems to kind of get some rough trips over here in America. Hey Gaman for Tate James, 5 for 19 wins, Lasix, and 12 to 1 with a good shot here on 126 pounds. Drops a few pounds from its most recent 4 races, carrying 132 and 134 pounds. Grade 1 type horse, Hey Gaman, is definitely a horse you have to consider. I think we're going to get some fast fractions. I think Uni's a good closer. I do like Hey Gaman as a possible upsetter from behind, and I do think you want to use a horse like True Valor at 20 to 1. Who do you like in the turf mile? It's a full field, and even a horse like Soda can be considered. Leave a note below, share and like this video. Hit subscribe to get notified of all new horse racing videos. We're previewing all of the Breeders' Cup races over these 2 races. Previews already up for the turf and the juvenile fillies. Also, the sprint race has been posted. We've already got some scratches, so stay tuned for further updates this week. Hit subscribe to be notified of all the updates on the Breeders' Cup 2019.